first earliest conscious memory I have that has to do with God. I was too young for words, I think, but I remember distinctly looking out the bedroom window of my family home in Sturgis, Michigan, looking out at the night sky and being gripped by a kind of terror that there wasn't anything there. Really, terror. A kind of existential angst. My mother would tell stories of that very little me running down the stairs in a kind of terror and having to talk me down. The terror had to do with what I came to understand later in my life as a particular kind of spiritual wiring. I was acutely aware from a very young age, for some reason, of the absence of God. Now, I stand and have stood my whole life in great appreciation and respect for people who have an experience of God's presence. A lively sense that God is just as close as you are to me. And I've spent a lot of my life worrying that that wasn't my experience. And a lot of my life trying to run away from that kind of foundational experience, awareness of God's apparent absence, the emptiness of the night sky. And I've come to understand that part of my attraction to the church has been an attempt to change my wiring. I found great comfort in church. I found great comfort in the Lutheran church of my childhood. Yes, I'm a recovering Lutheran. Missouri Synod, thank you very much. And that's not actually it's not unimportant. One of the particular gifts of that strand of the Christian tradition, Lutheranism in general, but the Missouri Synod for sure, is a great certainty about matters theological. It's a great certainty that God is this way and none other. And here you go. And I was drawn to that and comforted by it. Drawn in particular to strong figures who embodied it, like my childhood pastor, a larger-than-life man named Herbert M. Heidenreich, who I do not believe and cannot imagine ever had a doubt about anything. And so as he stood in the pulpit, or led the 35 of us in confirmation class, 5 years every Saturday morning, thank you very much, he held out to me an experience of great certainty. Not about God's absence, but about God's presence. And presence in the particular way the formulations in Luther's Small Catechism had to present it. I was quite drawn to that, and I found comfort in it, and I thought, of course, this is the path I will pursue because it's so certain. It's so certain. And I prayed. As I grew up, became a young teenager, I prayed as though I believed just the way he did. I imagined the way he did. And it was never mine. It was never mine. I wasn't being true to my own spiritual hard wiring. Because my spiritual hard wiring was about not certainty, but question. That night sky image never went away. Where are you? Where are you? Who are you? It wasn't until a very long time later that I realized the very act of wanting, the very reality of desiring, was a sign that God was, in fact, with me, even in God's absence. There's a great and mighty mystery for us there. It wasn't until much later that I came to embrace the fact that I was hardwired toward the cross. And the great, the vast mystery of God dying on the cross. My God, why have you forsaken me? And in that act of abandonment that Jesus was willing to embrace, is conceived hope.